You throw over $1,000 a month into local wishing wells.
Of course, you idiot, because I'm wishing for more money.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenberger and Bart Steindler.
All right, welcome back to Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenberger, joined as always by Bart Steindler. Just tuning in or you've been listening the whole time, we're talking about the value propositions that a good independent financial advisor brings to the table, aside from just asset allocating your investments. If you've missed any part of the show, you can always find it on our website. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com or any of our podcast partners, iTunes, Google Play Music, and all the rest. Just search for the Keeping Your Money Show. If you ever want to reach out to us, we're always available. Give us a call. 888-98-MONEY is the number. That's 888-986-6639. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. And one of our qualified advisors, including Bart and myself, be happy to get back with you. You can also email us info at keepingyourmoney.com. And I respond to all those emails myself personally. So some changes for Medicare coming down the road. I mean, we can't go over all of them. We do have it posted on our Facebook page if you go to facebook.com/keepingyourmoney. But some of them are kind of big. And probably the biggest one is the donut hole when it comes to Medicare Part D prescription drug benefits. If you're part of Medicare, you know one of the worst things about Part D when they passed it was this giant donut hole, they called it. And really what it came down to was they couldn't agree on a number of how much Medicare Part D was going to cost. Mm-hmm. So in order to make it fit under the number, they carved this giant hole in the middle of it where there was no coverage for prescription drugs, and they called it the donut hole. And it's been the dumbest part of that legislation probably ever. The spending bill that Congress passed will close the donut hole for brand name drugs in 2019, and generic drugs will close in 2020. So if you're one of those people that finds yourself every summer or early fall in this situation where you're paying out of pocket for all of your prescription drugs because you've hit that donut hole, relief is on the way. And that's a huge thing for a lot of people because it's expensive.
You wonder why they couldn't fix them both for 2019.
Who knows? Some horse trading that took place.
Well, we can only fix one thing at a time. Just hang on here.
I know.
Another thing is the therapy cap is gone. So beneficiaries of original Medicare won't have to pay the full cost of outpatient physical, speech, or occupational therapy because Congress permanently repealed the cap that has historically limited coverage on those services. So in the past, once you reached a certain amount for, physical, speech, or occupational therapy, and occupational therapy doesn't necessarily mean therapy to get you back to work. Mm-hmm. There's other
a lot of times it's
definitions.
just therapy to get you out of the house.
Right. So by uncapping the limit on that, you will be able to get more of that type of therapy. And a lot of times, the reason behind that is they feel that by giving you enough therapy to help improve your situation, you may actually be reducing the need for other medical care that Medicare would be covering.
Mm-hmm. There are some changes in Medicare Advantage as well. I do want to remind you, too, if you have Classic Medicare or you have Medicare Advantage, there are some opportunities that where you can kind of test drive one versus the other if you haven't before. There's not a better way of putting it. But this is the type of thing where working with a professional that is an expert in Medicare is really important. And we partner with a
Denise
woman
Gage,
who's phenomenally educated in this. And I would really encourage you when open enrollment comes around next year, or if you're going to be turning 65 this year and looking at Medicare, get in contact with us so we can get you in contact with her, because there are some things where if you do it wrong in the beginning, you can really screw yourself up long term. But Medicare Advantage has some changes in which they're going to basically start covering more things that I think we would normally think of as like long-term care type things. Now, remember, they're still limited in that it's only for 100 days. It has to happen a lot of times after a hospitalization or something like that. It's not like just open, to anything. But for instance, beginning in January, this last January, Medicare Advantage now have the option to cover meals delivered to the home, transportations to doctor's offices, and even safety features in the home like bathroom grab bars, wheelchair ramps, such as that, and also in-home help, actually making it possible to pay for someone to be in the home and assisting you with your needs there. So a lot of changes this year. Coming and then continuing into 2020 as well. But probably the biggest one, the donut hole. I mean, that thing's just been a mess.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned about, getting a hold of a person who's expertise in this area and consulting with them when open enrollment starts, I would encourage you to do that a couple months before open enrollment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because they get so busy around open enrollment that, everybody wants this information all at once. So look at it, September, October, or even now, and start getting your planning done for what you're going to do next year.
Right. And I think segueing from Medicare to something that is on a lot of people's minds as we approach tax time and that type of thing, and that goes to paying for medical expenses sometimes in the future. There was a great article in USA Today about HSAs and the fact that HSAs, a lot of people are missing out on having these. Maybe they don't realize they can have one. Mm-hmm. They don't understand what the qualifications are for them. We see a lot of times they're not offered through work, so people just automatically assume they can't get them. But you can open one yourself at your local credit union or bank too. You don't have to get it through work, but the benefits of a health savings account are so significant that if you're not taking advantage of these, you really are potentially missing out on thousands of dollars that you could be, putting away for future use that have amazing tax benefits to them that no other account out there has.
This is almost like setting up a second Roth IRA, and a lot of people we talk to, they're fully they're fully funding their retirement plans, and they have extra money that they want to put away, but they don't have an HSA account. Right. Well, here's an opportunity for you. You can put this money away in an HSA account, and it can be invested, and it grows tax-free, and when you take it out to pay for medical expenses, it is taken out without adding to your adjusted gross income. In other words, it's not taxed when you take it out. I guarantee you that when you retire, you are going to have medical expenses, and it is highly likely that the older you get, the higher those medical expenses would be. So don't necessarily take the money you're putting in your HSA every year and use it to pay your current medical expenses if you can afford to pay for those out of pocket. Let this grow tax-free and wait until you retire. And then once you've retired, start using this strategically to pay some of your medical expenses. Mm-hmm. It's a great idea and can really set you up to be a lot financially stronger in retirement.
Well, and two things that I think are important to remember about these are, number one, this is not an FSA. People confuse HSAs and FSAs a lot.
Right.
The FSA has been around longer, so people think about it, and they think about flexible spending accounts are totally different. That's usually something that at the end of the year, it's a use it or lose it kind of thing. That is not a health savings account. The other thing to remember is, what a beautiful opportunity to save something tax deductible, tax-free growth, and tax-free distribution. Triple tax benefits to you, but you have the ability to take it out if you needed to. So if you're putting money away into this with the idea that you're going to use this later on down the road, maybe to pay long-term care expenses or Medicare copay premiums or whatever, but a medical emergency comes along, and you need to come up with $5,000, you can take it out of your HSA. It doesn't penalize you for using that money prior to retirement. It just can be a great retirement possibility, but also a great way to avoid credit card debt and things of that nature that a lot of times come along because of medical emergencies if you're putting this money away. So many of us have so much larger deductibles on our health insurance plans now that any type of medical issue can actually be a pretty significant out-of-pocket burden for us. But if you've been putting money into an HSA, it's very likely you'll have the money there to be able to take it back out.
Right. And in all likelihood, you don't have huge medical events happening every year if you're still in your younger years. Maybe once in a while you do. And so the years that you don't, you're piling up this money and you have it there. It's kind of like, the emergency fund. And it allows you to have actually less money in your household emergency fund, because a lot of times when an emergency fund gets drained, it's due to a medical event or an accident.
Yeah, absolutely. So huge benefits on a number of different fronts. Whether you're saving it for retirement or even using it earlier because of a medical emergency. If your deductible on your health insurance plan is over $1,350 for an individual or $2,700 for a family, you are eligible for an HSA, and we would highly encourage you to look into doing that, as that can be a huge decision that you make that could have a very positive impact on your long-term financial picture. If you have any questions about that or anything else, you're always welcome to give us a call. Our toll-free number is 888-98-MONEY, 888-986-6639. Coming up, we're going to break down the difference between a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
It's never too late to plan for your future, and the Keeping Your Money Show can help. Our team of advisors can answer questions you may have about investing your money. Through Securities America, Inc., our advisors offer a diversified and comprehensive list of quality products and services. Call the Keeping Your Money Show at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free consultation.